last time was before the new year, and now today is the 17th of February 2026. Happy Independence Anniversary to you all. With us here today is the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians abroad, also to grace this very important monthly press conference. Tomorrow is Independence Day, as we all know, and I think we've got a long way as a country. We've achieved a lot despite the setbacks over the past decades. But before we start, I'll start with the updates from government. Then we can do a short presentation of the achievements of the tour. President, Gambia has achieved 90% election. 19 communities. Hundreds of years now are electrified. I think it's it is being electrified. Schools and healthcare centers are also being electrified. The president also expanded electricity, solar in 1,000 schools and 100 health centers as well. Now, the president of ECOWAS, Dr. Omar Toure, has congratulated the Gambia for leading implementation of this ECOWAS project of electrification and for being the first country in the sub-region to reach its electrification target. That Gambia is the first country in the sub-region to reach this target of 90%. And the government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that no Gambian community is left behind in national development. The president has promised what we call inclusive development, inclusive transformation, that nobody is left behind. Breaking the dichotomy between urban and rural, and also reducing rural-urban migration, is to make sure we bring basic services to our people in rural Gambia through water supply, expanding access to education and healthcare, but also building roads. The other update is from the Ministry of Interior, to a more precise Department of Immigration, which has to do with digitalization of payments for national ID cards and residential permits. The Immigration Department is saying that effective 16th of February, which was yesterday, ID card and residential permit payments at Kanifing and Banjul centers will no longer accept cash. It means if you want to pay for your ID cards and your residence permits, you don't have to pay money at the issuing center. What they are saying is that applicants must make payments at designated commercial banks and present original receipts for processing. Now, this is all part of our reforms for broader digital governance and public financial management modernization agenda. This is part of our reforms. Now, the other one is for the Gambia Prison Services. They announced that the President, Adama Barrow, exercising his prerogative of mercy powers under Section 82 of the 1997 Constitution, is granting presidential pardon to 56 male inmates. According to a statement from the prison authorities, the inmates were released on Wednesday last week from the Mile 2 state prisons as part of the exercise of the president's constitutional mandate. The prison services said that the decision reflects the government's commitment to justice rehabilitation and reintegration, offering eligible inmates an opportunity to rebuild their lives and contribute positively to society. Now, there's another update which will be delivered by the Minister for Foreign Affairs. If you could give us that update about I think questions about the Gambians in Ukraine and their fate. That question was also asked. If you can give us updates on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Good morning, members of the media, permanent secretaries, and other senior government officials here present. Let me join Doctor also in congratulating you and also wishing you a happy anniversary celebration. This is just an update. If you have seen recently, the report on the death of about 20 Gambian citizens in Russia. According to the reports we received from our mission, so far 9 of them. They are not yet conclusive in the reports, but they are also trying to work with the Russian side to be able to establish whether the figure was 20. But as of now, our mission in Russia has managed to establish that 9 Gambian citizens were confirmed dead. And then we are also working with the Russian side to make sure that at least, a support can be done in terms of whether we can have the bodies, the remains of the citizens, so that they can be repatriated to the Gambia here. So as of now, we only can confirm 9, and then the mission is also undertaking efforts to make sure that they can work with the Russian side to see whether actually it was 20. This is just the update that is coming from our mission in Moscow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Before I proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Information. She's also here, Kodu Jabang. And also the advisor to the Minister, Mr. Keba Ture, is also here as well to grace this occasion. But before we open the floor for Q&A from journalists, I'd like to go through a few developments that are registered in 2025 by the government of the Gambia. Now, the president had the Meet the People's tour recently. Then you can see that he had direct engagements in 7 regions. And the focus was on accountability and citizen feedback. As a government, we care about what the citizens are saying and what their aspirations are, what their concerns are. That is why the president, every year, at least once, as mandated by the Constitution, goes around the country to interface with the citizens. So they tell him how they are feeling, what they want, what their needs are. And in response, he tells them what he can do. And then every year he goes back and they hold him accountable for his promises in the previous year. That is why the talk gives him the chance, or the citizens the chance, to hold him accountable, but also to get a feedback loop mechanism as well. Now, the goal of the tour is to translate the Uruwa NDP into tangible community results. We all know the Gambia's development framework is guided by the Uruwa National Development Plan. Obviously, it should not only be something on paper, it should be felt by the citizens. The impact must be felt by the citizens. If the NDP says that the plan is to build 1,000 kilometers of roads, this should translate into tangible impacts by the citizens. Now, under infrastructure, the government has built 1,200 kilometers of roads since 2017, completed. This completed. Now, those that are yet to be completed, if you add it, it's over 1,500 kilometers of roads. And we are commissioning an extra 500 very soon. So we are going over 2,000 kilometers of roads. And the interesting is that it's coming soon. Okay. So like I said, on the 2026, 870 kilometers of new road projects are slated for 2026. So if you add that to the 1,002 which is ready, that'll be over 2,000 kilometers of roads. Now, for West Coast region, we spent 7.7 billion investments in currently active for roads alone. And for the urban renewal, 43 million for the Banjul Rehab project, which is also ongoing. Now, for energy and water, electricity access, we've reached 90%, like I said. Subsidies, 1 billion government intervention in 2025 for electricity. And then we are also, for water, 100 new systems serving 106,500 plus citizens. And the WASID project, which will also provide water to over 1 million Gambians in urban Gambia. For agriculture, fertilizer subsidy price is reduced from 2,950 to 1,100, 63% subsidy. Government is paying the rest. Mechanized, 69 out of 189 tractors are delivered. And groundnut trade, 1.5 billion invested, and 1 billion for local purchases in groundnut. For healthcare, ambulance fleet increased from 60 to 170. It was 60 by 2017, now it's 170. Maternal care, 10 new wards via the FAB Foundation, including SEO, Farafanya, and Soma. And also we have also National Emergency Center, 105-bed facility nearing completion, 1,500 bed in Farato. Many hospitals under reconstruction. We are building new ones, particularly in healthcare centers in Jali, in Kiang, in Mankamang, in Tumanna, in Sisemajao, and also in Salikenye. But also we are renovating a lot of these health centers. For example, one in Jao. We started new units, urology unit, cardiology unit, all these units at the EFSTH. We've also invested over $3.1 million in equipment alone on the healthcare sector. On the education, we built over 6,000 classrooms and over 400 schools within this very short period to expand education access to rural communities as well. Youth and women enterprise for 95 million has been disbursed to date. Entrepreneurship, 117 million to set aside to train and fund 2,240 women. We have also invested a lot in building new universities, the USET one in Brikama, and also to promote skills among young people. We've built a lot of vocational training centers. Some are specialized, some are multipurpose. Multipurpose ones are in Kanilai, in Demban, in Pachar, in Wasu. We are building specialized ones in Tujereng for only aquaculture, another specialized ones in Pachar for only the agri-business as well. And also giving scholarships to over 40% of students who are going to the UTG as well. And then the initiatives for integrity, we are launching the National Disinformation Response Center, which is an air-powered verification hub in the region. And this aligns with our Pretoria Action Plan. So these are some of the achievements we've registered. We've also passed the data protection law, which ensures that your data is protected, and the personal privacy laws. We've also passed obviously, you all know that the anti-corruption law was passed. The anti-corruption officials have been confirmed, and they'll be sworn in very soon. The Reparations Commission is also active, and they've started paying reparations to victims as well. So all these are achievements by the government, and we all know the president is focused on building or continuing to build a stable, secure, vibrant, thriving democracy in the sub-region. Recently, Gambia has been named the safest country in West Africa and the 4th safest in Africa, behind Mauritius, Namibia, and Botswana. But in West Africa, we're the safest country. It means that we're a very secure country. Our democracy is next to none in the continent. The fastest growing economy, our economy will grow to 5.9% by the end of the year. It means our economy is expanding. So all these are good news. Our public finances are in good shape. Our budget deficit is almost 1%, which is way below the accepted average globally. It means that the country is on the right track. The Gambia is better off today than 15 years ago. And this is confirmed by both GDP growth, but also purchasing power as well. So this is what is happening in the country. I think we all should be proud of ourselves for the good work. Everybody contributed. The president alone is not taking the credit for this. Everybody is contributing. From the farmer in Bondali, to the carpenter in Basse, to the welder man in Brikama, to the civil servant in Banjul. Everybody contributed to the success of this country. And I think tomorrow is independence. We all should be proud of ourselves. At 61 years old today, tomorrow, we've built a country against all odds. Despite the pessimistic prognosis of Bakile Rice, who said the Gambia was not a probable nation and that we could not survive as an independent sovereign state because of the status of our resources in 1965. But now today, we did not only survive as an independent nation, we've also gone through a lot of hardships and difficulties and setbacks. And we've become very resilient in making sure that we harness the spirit, the Gambian spirit, to make sure that we now survive as a nation. Tomorrow we celebrate 61, and we are now one of the leading developing countries in West Africa. So that's all from us, and we'll be happy to receive questions from you. Thank you. Yes? Yes, name, media house, and your question.
Thank you very much, Sharif, reporting for Civil Press. My question goes to the Honorable Minister.
Honorable.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, you've talked about the Gambians who died at the front line in the Russia-Ukraine war. What is government currently doing in order to stop that, and also how these people are, or whether government is also investigating how these people are being recruited into the army and then go to the front line?
Thank you very much. Let me just put clarification in this. We are not sure whether they died in the front line. What we know is that they died in operations. And this is so far the figure that we have received. Most of the time, Gambians that travels to Russia do go with the securing visitors visa. Some they go with maybe education visas, and then they end up, enlisting into the Russian army. It is the same way that on the Ukraine side also, we have Gambians who are also enlisting into the Ukraine armed forces, and they are also equally fighting. It's a volatile situation. All that we do as a government, when they are going there, we are not informed. People just travel and end up getting into these operations, and then it becomes very complicated. Well, this is a situation between two warring countries. And then all that they're doing is not only Gambia, they're recruiting citizens of Africa, West Africa in our region, and also all over the world. We keep educating our citizens, especially those that do not even have military experience. When they go and enlist in this kind of warfare, not having, in fact, the enough military background, it becomes very, very difficult. The only thing that we can do as a country is to advise and educate our citizens that they should not endeavor to enroll in this kind of, warfare. It's not like you're going there to play games. This is a real scenario, war scenario. And if you go out there, the only thing that we can expect is that both parties will deploy you to the front, to the war front. And that means you are not going to fight in blankos. You would rather fight, do the firefight in a real wartime. And that is why it is so serious. We are advising our citizens to take note of this and not to go and enlist in this kind of, war situation. That is the only way we can do. Unfortunately, we have been having reports of the death of our citizens. We want to express our condolences. And as a government, all that we can do is to engage with the Russian side and also the Ukrainian side, not to enroll or enlist our citizens. That is so far what we have been doing. I have another arranged meeting, probably tomorrow or after tomorrow, with the Russians, rep in Banjul here. And equally, our mission in Moscow is also engaging the Russian authorities in Russia. That is so far what we are doing now. Thank you.
Is there a question for the minister? No questions. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone. I am Binta Estian of Bessel Media.
Which media?
Bessel Media.
Bessel.
Yes. You spoke about the releasing of some emails from the prison. You mentioned that there were 56, if I am right, and they were all male. So mostly what I see online is people commenting, why is it just male? Don't we have female inmates in there, or they were the only ones qualified to be released by the president?
Not actually. The prerogative to pardon prisoners is the sole discretion of the president as granted by the Gambian Constitution. This follows a very transparent and rigorous process. At the helm of this process is a small committee called the Prerogative of Mercy Committee. This committee has 3 individuals. The Bishop of Banjul, who heads this is the Christian Council, the President of the Supreme Islamic Council, and the Attorney General. To support their work is an operational committee called the Prisons Committee, who now sits and follow guidelines and criteria that are set as to who qualifies to be pardoned by the president. And they follow that process. And these guidelines could involve as the number of your behavior in prison, the type of crime you've committed, the time you've served, how much is remaining. There are certain criteria set. Now, if we all know that our prisons, the percentage of women is not that much, and most women who are serving time there are not there for small crimes like weed and those particular. That is why they don't fall under, they don't qualify. Not that there is a systematic discrimination to stop women from benefiting from the pardon. No, it's just that women have not been qualifying for the pardon as set by the criteria and the guidelines. Now, the prisoners prison all are male. The majority are Gambian. There are a few Sierra Leoneans, a few Conakry Guineans, and a few Senegalese who are also pardoned. My understanding is that those will be deported as soon as they are pardoned. But the fact is that women are not discriminated. It's just that this criteria set aside for qualification for the pardon, women don't really meet the criteria. It's either because they don't fall on the crime category or also because of the number of women in prison. But the process is very transparent. The president, it is his sole prerogative, but he's supported by 2 committees that ensure that his decision is guided by fair play and the rule of law.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Doc. My name is Swego from SS Media. We have got information that this government is planning to, we have received information that this government is planning to legalize, to control the Gambian media, especially the online media platform. So if it is true, and why should?
Why did you start with, why didn't you say if it is false? Why did you start with if it is true? Why didn't you say if it is fake news? Government has no plan to control the online media. We all know that since 2017, the President, His Excellency, has put emphasis on a free media. That is why you've seen that our media ranking has gone up tremendously globally, but also in Africa. I've also heard these rumors going around. There are no plans to, what was the word used? There is no plan to muzzle the press. There is no plans to do that, so it's all fake news. That's what I can say.
My second question will be, previously we have spoke about media subvention and stuff. Does this government plan to provide any media subvention to the media?
Well, we're working on some sort of support for the media. How that will come, we don't know in what form. We are working with Gambia Press Union and the Media Council to take a paper to cabinet to see what support can be given to the media. We want the media to thrive. We believe that the media is the lifeblood of any democracy. And we know the problems the media is facing currently. Operational costs have gone up for the media. And for our democracy to thrive, for it to consolidate, the media has to be very vibrant. And for the media to be vibrant, they must be economically sound. We've registered almost 40-something radio stations in this country. We are going to have almost 6 to 7 TV stations. We have already 5 newspapers and a plethora of online media. And we need to support the media. Now, how we are going to do it, we are working on a formula to see what support we can give to the media, because we believe that the media needs support for them to continue doing their job. And this support can include capacity building. Competence is important. We want to have an ethical, competent media. So when you report in an ethical, competent manner. That support is needed, because if you are struggling to pay your bills as a media house, you will not spend money on training for your staff. And training is important. That is why very soon we are also organizing, as part of the African Union Broadcasting celebrations in April, we are organizing a training for media personnel in this country on AI, how to use AI in reporting. So part of our job is to ensure that we build your capacity and develop your skills as well.
The question is not actually finished, but then it's good that it's in a kind of paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm actually saying, So what I'm actually saying, and then providing any media subvention to the media to build up the 2026 presidential election. If so, would this not appear to be an inducement?
Well, who is doing that, by the way? I have not heard about
Like
giving.
if you
I'm
guys
not. No, we don't. I'm not aware of that. That we are going to give money to the media for 2026 elections. I don't know anything about that.
what we're saying is that you said you're providing it. You're planning to provide it.
Not for the elections. Broadly speaking, we want to create a sustainable environment for the media. It's got nothing to do with 2026 elections.
So what is your stand on monetizing the channels, like digitalizing so that media platforms can start to generate directly from digital media platforms?
That is the prerogative of the digital economy minister. That's not our ministry's mandate. That is for digital economy minister to work on that and find ways to ensure that digital platforms are monetized. That is for that sector. Yes? Can we give somebody else a chance so you can come back with that? You've already asked a question. Who else?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anamana from TTM, that is Different Media. Yeah, my question is, you made mention the Gambia government have achieved 90% of electrifying the Gambian communities. So you find out there are certain village in like Fonyi onwards that we are lucky to be part of the project. We even have the meters and so on. But then the president have went on a nationwide tour and inaugurate certain areas. But we are yet to also receive the electrifying, finally to see.
It will come.
So this is why I wanted to ask, for how long do we have to also keep waiting?
Well, I cannot tell you the exact timeline. I know what I can tell you with confidence is that the president made a promise that by the end of the year we'll have 90%. He's already fulfilled that promise. The 10% will come. It's on course. Very soon it will come. I cannot tell you exact, but what I can tell you is that rest assured that all communities in the Gambia will be electrified. If you don't have it now, you will have it very soon. That I can assure you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. maa ngi tudd Amar Kébé from Paradise TV. su ma njëlbéenu laajte bi dina nekk ci diggante nguur ak Gambia gi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk Albayrak groupe gisoon ne ñi tegoon xeer bu njëkk bi pour di si bi ñu war a tabax Sanya gis ne taxawoon na ñi gisaat ne ñu ngi jàngataat li nga xam ne moo nekk contrat bi bëgg nañoo xam ci loolu noonu fan la toll. beneen bi gis ne suñu diggante Sénégal ay dëkkandoo la yu jege la daanaka lépp ñoo ko bokkandoo gis neen fa coowal góor jigéen boo xam ne bëri na fa te ñu ngi siy tudd mu amaana mën na law ba agsi fi nga xam ne moo nekk réewum Gambia ban jéego la ci nguur gi di def ndax dafa bokk ci suñu diine ak suñu aada ci li nga xam ne moo nekk wàllum jikko.
si lu xew Sénégal la mënuma see wax parce que lu ma la wax mooy lu ma óor mooy Gambia luwaa bi alaawut ñaari góor wala ñaari jigéen ñuy sëy loolu moom luwaa bi nangu ko foofu laa mën a em te li nga wax mooy ne ndax dina egsi fii gisaanguñ ko egsenguñ fi so mënuñ see wax tamit suñ ko waaye rek ñu ngi preempt loo xam ne egsenguñ fii nii so ñun amuñ problème boobu noonu déggaanguma ko fenn dégguma kenn wax ko amaanguñ problème boobu noonu so mënuñ see xuus xuus bu yaatu ñaareel bi mooy diggante Albayrak ak nguur gi ñëpp xam nañ ne contrat bu nekk dafa am ay sarta yoo xam ne am na ay timelines nañ ne waxtu bi li nga war a def léegi waxtu boobu noonu at jot na ñu gestuwaat contrat bi gis ne li nga xam ne moo waroon a am na yu si des dañu war a toogaat nag négocier seen naka lañ ko defee loolu nag is very normal in contract ne su dee dañ toog ñu waxtaan ñu am ay d'accord si ay doxalin si ay waxtu ay jamono bi jot nag ñu gestu gis ne am na li si des war nañoo toogaat ñu waxtaan si naka lañ ko mën a gaawale loolu rek la waaye du dara li nga xam ne dafa yaa contrat bi wala dafa affect contrat bi toog la rek waxtaan si contrat bi ak naka la moo demee si kanam loolu rek la waaw kay
waaw jërëjëf si sa laajte bi affaire yëf yi góor jigéen yi jamono yi Sénégal seen minister of state bu responsible for Senegalese abroad mu ngi si dëkk bi jamono yi mu ngi war a mit Sénégalais yi fi nekk dina am meeting tamit ak xam naa media bi dina doon baax tamit li nga xam ne moo aju si xew-xew bi Sénégal maanaam soo amoon jot mën nga àgg foofu tamit nga laaj ko lii dina ko mën a leeral waaye nu ko docteur waxee mooy ñun suñu réew fii Gambie alawuñ ko nanguwuñ ko te képp kuñ si jàpp tamit luwaa dina am ak yow affaire jërëjëf.
Okay. Yes, next.
Good morning. My name is Esa Tukuli from Gambian Talents TV. My question is with regards to the digitalization of the immigration payment, which is the ID. What measures will be taken to ensure that those in the rural areas will have full access to this digitalization program? Because most of the time, these people find it very difficult to access banks. Banks are also limited around the rural area as well.
But I don't think banks are limited in rural areas. It depends on where. Actually, there's a government portal where now all payments are now made. All services, whether land, whether business registration. It's part of our drive to manage public finances, but also to make it more efficient, and also that the money is put where it is supposed to be. That is it. So I think it's not an excuse to say rural areas. I think rural areas also, they also access the internet. They have banks there, and they can go and pay.
Digital services are always difficult.
But they are not.
Internet.
They are challenging, but it's possible, because if you are in the rural area, you can always get someone to pay it for in urban Gambia. We all have relatives in urban Gambia. The online, they can just go online and just fill the form and just make the payment for at any bank. But I think we are moving digital. The whole world is moving digital. I think we should also allow rural communities also move along with us. If we just say they cannot access it, then there will be no development. But it's to ensure that we have systems in place to ensure they also come along and make. I think the debate should be, how do we support them to adapt to these new changes? And I think the government is doing that by expanding digital services across the country.
So the second question is, the Gambia is said to be the first country in the sub-region to reach the ECOWAS electrification target. How does this position the country regionally, and what support or leadership role will the Gambia now play within the ECOWAS?
Well, I think we are going to be a leader in national electrification. That is for sure. Other countries will come to learn from us how we've done it. And there is no better way to describe how we've done it apart from visionary leadership and dedicated leadership by His Excellency the President. Now, not only Gambia has benefited from this ECOWAS project, other countries have benefited from it, but Gambia is the first to achieve 90%. And that shows the importance of stability and continuity, and also the rule of law in a democracy. If you look at the sub-region today, Gambia is started as one of the leading multi-party democracies, stable, thriving, following the rule of law. So I think this is good for the Gambia. It puts us at another level in the map. I was very emotional. I've seen people cry in rural when the president was around. Cry. Not like cry, normal, cry like you used to cry. Yes. No, they cried. Emotional. Happiness. Because they never imagined in their lifetime that they would witness having electricity in their homes and drink cold water from their fridge and put their ACs on. And you know the impact of this is that it's going to provide jobs. Where there were no welders before, there will be welders now, and carpenters, electricians, radio makers, TV makers. It's a huge achievement. We are underplaying and downplaying this achievement, but it is huge. It's a revolution. And we are lucky to be the generation that witnessed this. We are very lucky to be the generation that witnessed this. So I think it's good that we have this. Gambia now is leading the drive for electricity expansion. Further questions? Yes.
Good morning. My name is Mamna Buka. I'm from QTV. My question is in regards to, we still have youth employment as a challenge, and with a significant amount of the budget allocated to human capital investment. Are there any new initiatives under the Euro that are being engaged in to help with irregular migration and youth employment? Thank you.
Well, I think the Euro is very clear. The strategy to make sure we provide employment, quality employment, is through skills training. We realized after a skills gaps assessment that the problem is not the quantity of unemployment of jobs, it's the quality of jobs. Currently, there are many jobs in this country that are unfulfilled, that are not filled, because we could not match skills to the labor market. That is why the government has a conscious strategy to expand TVET education. So we realize that what the job market now needs is that That is why we've built TVET centers across the country, giving incentives to young people to go and study for free, with support as well in these TVET centers, but also having a postgraduate program at the University of the Gambia to make sure that students also have practical experience after university so they can be employable. So government has done that. Government has a conscious policy as part of the labor policy that we want to provide 150,000 jobs before 2026. And I think we've reached that. We didn't have the empirical evidence yet, but I think all the sectors, when you look at all the sectors, the restaurants that are open in hospitality sector, even in my sector, the information ecosystem, look at all this. 2017, you could only have GRTS in a press conference like this. Today, I cannot even count how many. All these media houses have employed someone. And you look at the value chain of that. You go to construction, it's booming. The employment there. You go to real estate, it's booming. You go to all the sectors. So we are providing employment for our young people. Irregular migration, and I think this should be very clear. The lack of jobs is not that which drives irregular migration. There are people who had jobs and they left their jobs and they went. People had businesses, shops, they were selling and they sold their shops and they left. Police officers, teachers has gone to GTU, CCU, got money, and they left. So it's not about jobs. When people they want to travel, that's a decision they've made. But government is aware of this challenge. Gambia's population is young, and young people, what do they need? First and foremost, skills training so they can be employed. And that is what we are doing as a policy, to make sure that we build the right infrastructure, the right ecosystem, so young people can be trained and they are skilled, and they are able to be employed. And this promotes also foreign direct investment. When investors also want a skilled, competent country, so they can come and invest in this country. And we're attracting FDI. Recently, if you check from 2017 to date, our FDI has shot up by over 200% in terms of money that comes into Gambia for investment. So our conscious policy is what? Invest in young people, train them, skill them, so they can be employable. Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, young lady.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alpha. I want to ask a question regarding to the new OIC road. OIC road. Many disabled have raised concern about the route, saying that they cannot access it. So I want to know what is the government's measures concerning that.
Well, the OIC road is not ready yet. It is still under construction. The only reason why we are using it because there are no alternative routes. I'm aware that the issue of disability is mainstreamed in the entire project. Based on my understanding, there are about 17 prefabricated pedestrian crossings that will be installed once they are done for easy access as well, so we can cross. The side service roads are being worked on. So I think once the road is finished, you'll get access for people who are with disabilities. The government has a conscious decision as part of the policy. I think there was an act, the Disability Act, correct me if I'm wrong, to ensure that people who are living with disabilities get access to services, get access to buildings, and can able to use public cars and public roads easily. I think these are by the but understand that the OIC road is not finished yet. It is still under construction, and when it is finished, access wouldn't be a problem for people with disabilities.
Thank you so much. My name is Modusa, New Global Media. My question is, I want to know whether the Cameroonian opposition leader, Issa Bakari Chiroma, whether he is still in the country. And if he is in the country, how is the government engaging with the international partners and so a negotiated solution to the problem?
Honorable, you have a question?
Yeah, my second question is, currently the United Nations Secretary General position is taking place because Antonio Guterres is retired in December 2026. So the former president of Senegal, Macky Sall, wanted to contest for the seat. So what did the government of the Gambia, did it come to cabinet level concerning this? Because last week, former President Sall wrote to the Senegalese government for their endorsement. So what about Gambia? Whether Gambia also has been notified about the selection?
So Gambia has taken a position. Yeah. We are going to nominate you as the new SG. Honorable, you can take care of that.
Well, are you not interested? All right, then submit your bids. Thank you. With regards to Isa Bakari Chiroma, if you recall, after the elections in Cameroon, in fact, before the Independent Electoral Commission announces the results of the elections, Isa decided to announce himself as the winner of the elections. That alone contravenes the constitutions of Cameroon. And then he fled the country and then went to Nigeria. His presence in the Gambia here was facilitated by the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Gambia hosted him purely on humanitarian basis, and also to make sure that the peace and stability and tranquility in Cameroon is not jeopardized. Gambia acted in solidarity with regional, holdings. Gambia acted purely on humanitarian basis, and it is also on a temporal basis to host Isa Bokare. However, when he arrived in the country, he was also given some conditions that he cannot use the Gambia to launch attacks or to cause any instability in Cameroon. Those were the conditions of his stay here. About his engagement with the international community, this is something that is not up to that level, okay, if he wants to go back home. Well, he ran away because he knew that he was going to be arrested and then also be taken before the court of law. That is why he ran away. So engaging maybe discussions with international community, probably that should come from him or from Cameroon if they so want to do so, and if they want to solicit Gambia's support in making sure that there is peace and stability and negotiation in this matter.
According to the statement of the government, when he came, because when he came, it was around 3 weeks before government notified the public. Because he arrived here on the 7th of November. So before government notified the public, it was on the 22nd of November.
Yes.
So the government said that they are going to engage with the international partners, especially the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So in the event that Cameroon and Bakari himself and Nigeria wanted to go ahead with the negotiation part, of course, then we will engage with the international partners. Yes. What was the next question? Macky Sall's bid.
I say, is he still in the country?
He's in the country.
But the government said they are going to update the form, but they are not doing that.
Have they not done that? By informing the public. They inform you that he's in the country now.
It's just now they are
No. But that is the update that you have been given by government.
Okay.
When he arrived in the country, government updated the public.
Next question
About the bid for Macky Sall to run for the United Nations Secretary General. That has not come to the attention of government. And all that we are saying, we don't know what is the current status of Macky Sall, whether he is bidding for the position or not. But that is entirely the politics of Senegal and not the Gambia. Thank you. Please.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I am going to speak out of what Dr. Caesar has presented, Honorable Minister. I was opportune to go to Turkey during the saga of Gambian migrants facing some challenges.
Yes.
So I was opportune to have an interview face-to-face with the ambassador, His Excellency Alkali
Conte, yes.
And I put some questions to him, especially the one that mentioned the time and the manner in which the migrants get across to them by telephone. Because he mentioned that they are working on time, like they close by 5. So if you call after 5, the office line, nobody will be able to access because they have gone home. I also listened to your interview on West Coast Radio. You mentioned that at least their personal phones should also sometimes be available for some of these migrants in case they face any situations out of the official working hours. He was able to explain in a manner that I understand he also have a personal life, and sometimes you can have missed calls, it's normal. And what he explained that I understand is that some of them use private lines to call, and you cannot call them back once you see the missed call.
Because of the anonymous.
But my worry is this: I was able to speak to some migrants off camera in Izmir. I visited them in their houses. They were captured and released after a year. They paid $1,500 according to them, but they were not given documents, the required documents, because after paying, we are supposed to be given a paper that can give you the
legality to stay okay.
in Turkey.
That was the purpose of that payment.
Yes.
Okay.
But still, they are struggling to get that paper, even after making payment and getting their lawyers. So I wanted to know, as a Minister of Foreign Affairs, I'm sure you are in touch with the embassy. Some of these migrants there are really suffering. I know it because I went to visit them and I spoke to them that day. So what are some of the ways that you are going to, in case of, so for you to get in touch with the embassy more often, for them to visit these migrant centers, I mean detention centers, because they told me they visited 4 since 2023, since he was the ambassador in Turkey. They visited 4 out of 81 cities. Because he said there are 81 cities in Turkey.
81 regions.
Regions, rather.
In Turkey.
And all those regions have one or more than
centers.
Detention centers. So that means we have a lot of work to do. What, and he said it's a process. What is your ministry and the embassy doing to see that at least in a year, you can visit 5 or 6
centers.
Of these detention centers to get to know some of the challenges these people are facing. If they call, they are not able to get across to the embassy. And when they want to visit the embassy, it might be difficult because they are under detention. So what are you and the embassy in Turkey doing to get in touch with these migrants there, to know their situation, their welfare, and everything that has to do with that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. It happens that I also serve in Turkey, both as Deputy Head of Mission and as Ambassador also for 1 year. During our time, we tried to establish associations. One was association for the students, and then another association for the community. These are the migrants. And time, we do have meetings. We have very good engagement with our communities in Turkey. When I was there, we tried to create also a data. We know where every Gambian, resides in any of the regions and also in the cities as well. It was a very good, system that we put in place. Recently, when we had these issues regarding our migrants, that a good number of them are now in detention camps, we also engage with our missions. And then when I was going to West Coast also, we had, according to the records they gave, about 100 Gambians in various detention centers. And we also have the names of all those Gambians who are there. Immediately, we had to communicate with the Turkish authorities. And as we are talking, on the 17th of April, I have been given, an invitation by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, my brother Fidan Hakan, to visit and also purposely to discuss about the status of our Gambian citizens in Turkey. That is going to be the purpose of my visit in Turkey, to make sure that at least they are applied. Like you have already mentioned, if they are asked to pay $1,500 to regularize their stay in Turkey, I see no reason why, after paying that amount of money, they do not have their papers. If that is the purpose of the payment, I don't know. But then my visit to Turkey probably would unveil a lot of other things, but purposely is to engage Turkey to make sure that at least our citizens in Turkey do have the necessary documentation to be able to live happily and also to work freely in the Republic of Turkey. Thank you.
Yes. Last question bi rek ci wàllu mbay mi da nga wax ne lu toll ak 186 tracteurs yoo xam ne nguur ak Gambia gi jël na ko joxe ko am na ñu nekkee ca CRR di bay maalo rawatina ci nord bi dañ da wax ne pour ñam accès ci tracteurs yooyu dafa nekk problème suñu bayee nit ba maalo bi ñor pour ñu góob ko dafa nekk problème lañ nekk di wax mooy ñi jox machine bi dafa am ñeneen ñoo xam ne dafa mel dañ ko jël moomale ko seen bopp dañ ko dee gënale ku leen neex la ñoo jox tracteur bi ku leen ñëw duñ leen ko jox according to dem ci li nga xam ne ñoom wax leen ma ko bi ma amee ñoom ak waxtaan so ci loolu noonu lan moo ci nekk taxawaayu jëriñ gi ñu dénk wàllu mbay mi pour ñu gis ne kat tracteur yi ñi ko war a jot dina ko jot ci waxtu ñu ko soxla
waaye tracteur yi yu government ici mu 180 tracteur yi mooy téeméer ak juróom-ñetti fukki tracteur yu government ici du pour jox ko nit ñi for free dafa am ay statut yu government teg mooy ne tracteur bi nguur gi na ko ici yow mi nga na nga bëgg a tractor da ngaa fay 25% léegi government moo laa fayal 50% bi beneen 25 nga koo fay ndànk-ndànk kon yow ki ñëw nga fay sa 25% nga sign contract bu njola tractor yow sa bos la nu la neexee nga ko usee warloo ko dem si ak xanaa nga bëgg a abal nit de kon ñooñu suñ bëggee tractor ñoo ñëw tamit jël si tractor yi tractor bi du free ne ko dañ ko mayee ne wala pour community bi la non du loolu sarta bi mooy ne da ngaa ñëw nga apply ne da nga bëgg a tractor bi nga fay 25% government fayal 50% beneen 25 nga ko fay ndànka for 5 years ba mu jee mu nekk sa bos ah dañ koo jabara subvented prices let's say tractor mu ngi jar $5 million let's say tractor mu ngi jar 5 million dañ ko yombalal béykat bi ne da ngaa ñëw nga fay 25% ñaata la 1.5 million foog naa so $1 million for example la laa jox ni rek beneen 25% nga ko fay ndànka for 5 years beneen government moo la ko fayal it means yow 2.5 million ngaa fay government moo la fayal ba mu yombalal la ko ba doo 2. doo ko fay yëpp sax da ngaa fay ndànka so pour jàppale béykat bi la mu am access to tractor fekk du soona loolu rek la déedéet doo ko mën a am su dee ñëwloo nga wane interest nga fay 25% bi doo si mën a am xanaa ñu jàppale la si beneen wi xam naa ne moom ici woon nañ harvesters combine harvesters ak yeneen tractors di ko jàppale dañuy rice farmers xaw ma ñan ñoo bénéfice loolu nag mënuma see sori si boobu noonu waaye xam naa ne moom si mbiri 180 scheme bi initiative bi pour gis mu yomba mooy dañ laa jot tractor nga fay 25% government fay la 50% bi 25 nga ko fay ndànk combine harvesters yu gars ici nag naka lañ ko tasaaree si dex gi nag boobu xaw ma naka la fa demee.
parce que ñoom li ñu waxoon mooy ñi nga xam ne ñoom la ministre bi jox tracteur yooyu noonu dafa am ñeneen ñoo xam ne am na seen yëfu bopp bokkut ak ministre bi soo ñooñu ñoom understand ne private la ñoom ku bëgg a luwaas nga dem nga luwaas bon bi nga xam ne moo nekk ci ministre bi ci boppam nee na ñi nga xam ne lañ ko jox daanaka ñoo ko dee doxaleen boo xam ne
ok léegi loolu am na solo dinañ wax ministre bi bring li to his attention ne ko ne nii la fa demee suba ma mun a gestu seetu naka la moo mën a def pour gis nañ képp koo xam ne war ngaa njëriñoo si tracteur bi nga njëriñoo si yes.
This is going to be a follow-up question to regarding what Kebe asked last time, about the homosexual. You said you wouldn't go Gambia, but there was a point in time that before Senegal sent was the joke, Gambia sent was Mundeka joke. A musician, upcoming artist, the Gambia Filanega, Jenasi make claims of someone and then calling him in that situation. When this Kenan Kohamantene familiar with Jenasi, claim of the same when he was a minor. But then we don't see any situation Kohamantene ministry or government Jenna step in to it because it was all over. They were giving interviews. You understand? It was all over. The claims were going around. If we are asking why is it that the government did not come into
why no am not doing law enforcement. Gene liggéey police la. Su dee nit def na loo xam ne dafa àndut ak yoon dafa jalgati yoon loi loolu liggéey police loolu liggéey government mënut a dugg si loi du liggéeyam arama ñoo rek tey loi bi moo wax ne sëy góor ak jigéen loi bi daf ko tere Gambia léegi su kenn ak génne mu may claim si war a ñu téye loolu liggéey police loolu liggéey government mënut a dugg si yu noonu Sénégal tey sax da nga mos a gis da nga gis nguuri Sénégal di si dugguñu si liggéey police moo nekk di def liggéeyam si particular case boobu wax nii xaw ma naka la ma details yi ba su dee loo xam ne la police gis na ne liggéeyam mu ngi si dina war a def liggéeyam si nu mu ko war a defee waaye loolu government mun sa dugga si yoo xam ne du liggéeyam lu liggéey police la.
Police was working under the government.
non loolu la wax nii waaye police ma ñëw rek tey liggéey government loolu la mu bëgg a mooy government mun ta dugga si loolu du liggéey xam nga dañu am police bu independent boo xam dañoo def seen liggéey. su dee kenn ak génn na mu ne góor jigéen la loolu liggéey police pour mu investigate la su dee evidence mu fa ki mu war a prosecute ko waaye ñu loolu liggéey government ñu mënuñoo dugg si loolu noonu as a government bëggul expecter ba ministre wala ministre wala président mu involve si loolu liggéey police la waaw.
That's right. And then my last question goes to the Honorable Minister. And Honorable Minister, it is overlong true that Gambians are not entering in Mali by land. Mali by land. I spoke with various people who tried it, and then even one blogger, Gambian blogger, famously known as Gano, you understand? He experienced it when he went to Mali, you understand, by flight and wanted to live by land, he said he has to go back and try flight again, and other individuals as well. So I was actually working on a story on that, but then asked to post it because I was not having the access to you. Understand? At that point in time, I don't know where to get it.
Did you ask for any?
I tried to get your communication.
Through where? Through who?
Through different individuals. But
Who?
I don't have a direct contact to get it. That's why I said, I saw I posted.
You can have my number.
Okay, no problem. I will do it after this press conference. So now what we want to know is that, what is the stand of the government doing that to make sure that Gambians, because we know that come soon made them today jelly,
To be a uni.
So now they are stopped. They cannot go to Mali by land. What is the ministry doing in that?
Well, it's not about the ministry. You know, Mali, Jamaloyu, is all about insecurity. I mean, it is not safe for people to travel there, especially certain regions of Mali, because of the security situation. Lulumo one moy fo xamne jam amu fa xex mo fa nek jihadists. So I don't know why one would want to risk, lives in trying to go through those kind of terrains. Okay, that is why sometimes they ask them to fly, to take the fly, okay, to go to Bamako and then out, rather than using the road.
No, for Gambians, it's clear. It went to a point that they write in their signboards, Gambians are not allowed. It's not for other countries everywhere.
The Malian authorities said Gambians are not allowed.
To enter by land.
It's because of the insecurity that's happening there. Not only Gambians. This was a general, feeling. Or you are saying specifically that Gambians are not allowed?
Yes.
To enter Mali?
Yes. By land.
Put on the sign of Gambians are not allowed.
Yes.
I did not see that.
I spoke to someone, you understand, according to my source, he filmed it and he was detained to delete that.
Was that coming from government to say that Gambians are not allowed, or was that just anybody else, any individual?
Border, you find a signboard where Gambians are normally entered, and you see that the signboard is written there. You understand? No Senegalese are allowed to enter by land. Gambia doesn't border with Mali.
Yeah, we don't have border with Mali.
Gambia border with Mali. In their borderline.
Okay.
Where people enter by land.
We'll find out.
Okay, we will get to find that out also. Thank you for bringing that. We will find out. Thank you. Jerry.
No, wait. He said according to his source. Maybe his source disappointed. Your source disappointed you. This guy likes sauce. Yes, go on.
Right now, to make so pricey, you maintain while you watch as a right now, you face problem you buy. For example, let's say onion, let's say 1,002. All of a sudden, the is where called banging you 1,007, 1,008. Hana government be able to consider Akbanta again, they make so pricey you watch.
Your question be no ko wara frame when nalla nit ñi wara def gomel limu wara def nako be pare ñun luñu wara def nañ ko moy ne gis nañ ne dañ stabilize prices yi be pare through monetary and fiscal policy ak through some investments ak subsidies gis nañ ne saaku maalo legi wàcc na te maa ngay hold record si 9 February wholesale price is 1,450 legi dafa des le foko jëndé Serekunda fam price am 4,650 Banjul am price am dafa des si band ñu ko jëndé but stabilize nañ price but saaku maalo legi is under 2,000 ñepp xam nañ lolu noonu legi nit ñi nga wara wax legi shopkeeper yi ñu bàyyi di increase price because of very record la so legi sax ko wara lan la nit ñi wara def parce que government mënta dem si market bi si every shop government mënta nekk si every shop di control du wax nit ñi ne ni nga koo jaayee léegi ñun citizens si ñoo war a nekk citizens yu baax ngay jaay sa price noo ko war a jaay bu ko yokka because of very record la so ñun ñoo war a jël responsibility bi waaye ñu lu ñu war a def mooy léegi stabilise nañ price si muy diwlin muy soble muy computer muy saaku maalo stabilise nañ muy sukur yëpp stabilise nañ price si léegi te expect loo tamit kii Gambia du njee produce all these things amuñ factory diwlin amuñ factory sukur amuñ factory maalo ak yu noonu these things coming from outside dañ ko di jënda léegi ki jaay doo ko wane wàññil sa price because of very record du ko dafa lose suba lu dee loolu lu dee isi mooy scarcity moo tax government in a free market du dee involve si price control because soo ko defee daf dee backfire dafa cause scarcity yow de soo nekkoon jaaykat nga jënda saaku maalo $50 India $50 nga ko jëndee nga teg si loo ko transporté pour isi ko $5 mu nekk 55 nga fay si shop fay courant fay leberees fay everything mu demee $60 nga ñëw léegi pour jaay ko 62 $2 mooy sa government na nga ko jaay 55 doo ko jaay da nga ko denca suba soo dencee luy xew scarcity moo am moo tax government di dugga si price control but government dafa ensure comme for basic commodities kenn duy fay waiver duty si maalo ak basic commodities pour mu gën a yombal askan bi kon léegi government def na loolu soo ven na fuel si pom bi tey Gambia si sub-region bi apart from Nigeria for obvious reasons because dañu am diw ñoo amee the cheapest fuel in the sub-region tey Gambia because of lan ñu ngi subsidize fuel bi si pom bi soo ko ñëwee $82 par litre government bu nga see tegal beneen boo xam ne bu dafa dem si sa poche te ñu ngi subsidize electricity su dee yaa ngi fay $17 per kilowatt hour tey courant cash power government mu ngi la see tegal loo xam ne boobu sa poche la moo dem pour rek nga am extra money si sa poche as a Gambian increasing salaries on 3 occasions pour rek ñu am extra xaalis si suñu poche tey soo seetee sub-région bi lekk fii la gën a yombee muy diwlin muy sukur muy maalo yépp fii la gën a yombee Gambie la gën a yombee léegi su defee loolu ñu def loolu léegi ñun askan wi léegi ñu war a jël responsibility ñu bàyyi di yokk prices yi su dee weeri koor mu ngeen si ko leen gis mu def ko dangeen ko ong si boppam ngeen ne ko ne hey lii jaadu loolu rek ngeen a mën a def waaye ñun as a government def na li ñu war a pour gis ne stabiliser prices yi. nga boole ko yow xam nga ñu mënuñoo nekk fu nekk yow fu mu nekk ne soo demee si benn shop nga gis ne shopkeeper bi mu ngi inflate price on nga boole ko si police bi wala nga boole ko nga dem ministre of trade nga boole ko feena waaye ñun as mënuñoo nekk every shop mënuñ fa nekk reason si ñooñu moo tax mën la ne sa question ko war a frame ñun lan la ñu mën a def pour jàppale government bi government def na ay jéego pour jàppale askan bi pour gis ne price yëpp stabilise léegi ñun lan la ñoo def pour jàppale government bi mooy yow kii jaay nga bàyyi sa price si mu nekk foo xam ne noonu la fa war a nekk yow mi nga xam ne yaa ngi jënda koo xam ne mu ngi def njuñ jaaj yokka price nga boole ko wala bu jënda si moom nga dem jënda si keneen. Final question, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Final question.
The question I have is in relation to a conversation, the engagement that he was having with the Honorable Minister regarding that he was trying to request for information and things like that. So my question is in relation to the Access to Information Act, which requires public bodies to have information officers where journalists, if they want information, they can go through there and get it. What is being done to ensure that these information officers are available and journalists can have their communication details so that when we need something, we can acquire it from them?
Oh, they're all available. When it was implemented, we have ensured that every MDA has an information officer, at least 2 information officers. And the process, I think you should familiarize yourself with the process. You don't just go there, you write to the MDA that you want information from and request for information. And they are bound by a law to respond to within 14 days to say they've received your request and they'll work on it. And bound by a law to also respond and give you information. And where they cannot because of exemptions in the law, they have to also notify you. So this is happening. All MDAs are now information officers. So if you require any information, just write to the MDA and request for information. By law, if the information is not exempt by law in the Act, they are bound by law to give it to you. Otherwise, you could go to the commission and lay a complaint and they'll investigate and make sure that they do the right thing. There's a commission set up for that, where you feel that your information is not provided for you.
I'm asking because the problem we have right now is a lot of us don't know who these MDAs are and what their communication details are for us to have.
No, but what are the MDAs? It's ministry departments and agencies. Let's say you need information from the Minister of Agriculture. Who do you write to? The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture. It goes to Agriculture. And I think mostly is the Permanent Secretary who is the information officer in this ministry. So if you want information from Minister of Tourism, you write the Minister of Tourism. So it depends on the ministry, department, or agency. If you want information from GAIPA, you write to GAIPA. They have an information officer who will take care of your file and make sure that they give you the information you need. We need to test the law. The law is there already, but we're not using the law. We have to use the law to get access to information. Finally, we are done. We are done. Okay, last question, and then we'll close.
I'm sorry, Honorable.
Yes.
Something that is so concerning. It just comes to my mind. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Your last question, and we are going.
Opportunity that I have, Honorable.
Yes.
This is just the last opportunity that I have. Actually, I have tried out a few times to have a special interview with you. So it was
From which media house?
SS Media.
Okay.
You understand? It's not possible, so I'm going to use this opportunity.
Okay.
Actually, there's something that is concerning in Gambia right now. If you leave Gambia, you home, you went to anywhere, and like, for example, you went to Brikama, after 9 o'clock, the only way you can pay is $200 by vans. This commercial, they deliberately change prices. The more you get late, the more they will charge. I don't even mean town trips and others. What is the government trying to do that to ensure that, okay, you have secret agents that will be in midst of people at night to make sure that sort of something like that is regulated?
It's good you bring this to our attention. Like I said, government is not everywhere, and government cannot be everywhere. And it's good you bring this to our attention. We'll talk to the ministry responsible for that, and then we'll talk to the transport union, and we'll make sure we'll take measures that will ensure that nobody exploits Gambians. The President, His Excellency, has one mission and one goal. In fact, two. The first is to ensure every Gambian lives a dignified life. That is why he's bringing all these investments in electricity, water, roads, schools, healthcare, youth empowerment initiatives. Second is to ensure every Gambian fulfills their true potentials. That is why he's building all these skill centers so young people can fulfill their potentials. Now, anything, any activity, any action that exploits Gambians is unacceptable, and we'll take the strongest measure to stop it. We'll bring it to the attention of the authorities that are responsible for this, to look into this and ensure that any driver who exploits Gambians because of their vulnerability will be dealt with in line with the law. You're not done yet?
Only one.
Yes.
Is government considering dropping charges against the 23 Bureau protesters?
Ask the courts.
No, last time you guys said they should come for a negotiation. At the last press conference.
We never, We never said negotiation. We said let us dialogue as a country and resolve our problems in the offices and in the boardrooms and not in the streets. No, I'm coming.
About dropping the charges.
I'm coming. What I'm saying is that as a government, we prefer dialogue to people going to the streets. The particular case is in the courts. It is unwise for me to comment on cases that are in the courts. The courts are independent in this country. Recently, you've seen the Gambia government. In fact, we have the freest, most independent judiciary in the world, I can say. Why? Because we've lost cases. Recently, the Sanyang case we've lost. Many cases we've lost. And because it shows our judiciary is independent. The case is in the courts. The courts will determine what sanctions to make or not to make. That's up to the courts. We have competent courts. Government cannot engage or...
dialogue is out of it now. We're
not saying that. What we are saying is that the case is in the courts and we cannot comment on cases in the courts.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this press conference. It was a good one. We will again wish you happy Independence Anniversary. I hope I'll see some of you tomorrow at Makati Square. It's going to be a low-key one because it's, I'm not sure if Ramadan starts tomorrow. I know Lent starts tomorrow. The Christians, tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. Christians will start fasting tomorrow. So I'm wishing all Christians happy and a blessed, no, we don't say happy, at least a blessed Lenten season for the Christians. For the Muslims who are fasting tomorrow, we are also wishing you a blissful Ramadan. I know the Kamarakundas and the Turekundas don't fast. That is established by history. They don't fast, so we don't. But for the rest of us, the CCs who are fasting, tomorrow we wish ourselves a blissful Ramadan and wishing you a happy Independence Anniversary. And I'll see you after Korite for another round of press conference. Thank you very much. And I thank the Minister for Foreign Affairs for gracing this occasion, and also senior government officials, the principal secretary from the ministry, the permanent secretary, but also the advisor. Thank you, the entire team, Mata and the entire team, and Chati for facilitating and making sure that everything is put up. All the media houses that are live and also that are reporting later, and also all the radio stations, televisions, newspapers that are here today, online media that are here today. I thank you for your service. You are critical partners to government and critical partners to the ministry, and we'll do everything to support you. Thank you.
when every fiber of my being screams